It looks like a bird to me.
What if I add this?
The bird is swimming in the water. It has a long neck and beak. It is a duck.
Yes.
A duck is a type of waterfowl in the family Anatidae. Ducks are closely related to geese and swans. The duck appears to be blue. This is not a common color for ducks. However, there are some breeds of blue ducks. These are typically not as common as other duck breeds. It is more common for ducks to be brown, black, or white.
Are you sure?
What the quack? I was just talking about a blue duck, and now you're holding one. It looks like blue ducks are more common than I thought.
Would this float?
I'm not sure what material it's made of, but it looks like it might be rubber or plastic.
What if I...
That's a sample of the new Google AI. I know, I couldn't decide what title to lead with. We'll discuss many topics, and people in the chat can contribute. We also are at a super high threat level, which Director Ray is worrying people about. I have Joe Biden answering questions or not answering questions about his foreign money coming in. Just want to say hi to people. Just want to say we're grateful to be here, and we're grateful for the people that tune in regardless of what the topic is. But yeah, I'm going to show you this video. It was kind of mind-blowing to me. So you'll have to see the whole presentation. I'll show it to you. I'll play a little background music. So how's everybody doing? We made it to Wednesday, I believe. We made it to Wednesday. Did a consulting session this morning. More people are getting into cryptocurrency, and this show has been good for crypto. Generally, I mean, during the show, it seems to pump. So we're looking, Bitcoin is still holding up around $44,000. So that's as good as moving up, actually. Well, it's not as good as moving up, but it's good. Good that it's staying there. It's not even really taking a huge breather. So thanks everybody who listens to the Bitcoin talk, Solana talk. You could buy some of that too. That's up today. So yeah, if anybody ever wants help with cryptocurrency, realize that I can help you with that, or just to explain it to you and stuff. There were it was like 50-50 when I ran the poll yesterday about people who had Bitcoin and don't have Bitcoin. This time I was going to ask if you've used ChatGPT for anything, or if you use AI somehow in your workplace. Because I use ChatGPT, but I don't use it much now. This Google version, this new one that came out, is called Gemini. Apparently it works through the Bard app, but there is no Bard app on iPhone. Hey, Jason Warner, what's up? Hey, Pandora. Hey, All Seeing You. Hey, Angela Power Disney, Angie Power Disney, what's up? Frank W asks, and it's an interesting question, how long before the AI releases Google? I think we're not far from what they call the singularity. This thing apparently is the first to perform better than humans at a particular set of questions. So I'll show it to you. Yeah, we'll get to that part of the news. I actually have other news to cover first. I have RFK Jr. admitting that he flew on Epstein's plane, and that his wife was friends with Ghislaine. Ghislaine Maxwell, that is, who's in prison right now, who has not suicided herself yet. So I have some people making money today on different kinds of crypto that are letting me know. I have those messages coming in right now on my screen. There's all kinds of different stuff that's really pumping. So KC says, I use ChatGPT all the time for random stuff like helping me remember movies or random questions. Okay, cool. So you found a use for it. That's good. All Seeing You uses ChatGPT. Cool. Well, you'll be impressed by this thing. I won't give it to you first. I have it a little bit down the line of my tabs, a little bit down the line, but we'll see when we get to it. If you want to see it, let me know. Yeah, I'll show you the demo that they released today. It's supposed to be better than ChatGPT, and it does seem pretty impressive. I was kind of blown away by the video, actually. So here's Bitcoin today. Let's see. Bitcoin is at 43,813. It's limited. Big countries are going to be buying it. Bigger things bigger than countries like BlackRock are going to be buying it in bulk, I think. So All Seeing You says, have I ever stumbled onto a replacement for Steemit? No. Steemit was a thing that comes along once in a while. No, Steemit was popular because you could really make money on there for a while. For people who don't know, that was a platform built on cryptocurrency. I still have some of the cryptocurrency, which was worth a couple grand at one point recently, or I don't know, within the last 2 years at least, I think. But I don't know what the status is of it now. No, there's no replacement for that. There's no way to make money doing this kind of thing. But I beg for super chats. So that's the way you can support the show if you want to. Super chats. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, or you can buy our t-shirts, or you can book a session. I do cryptocurrency consults. I can also tutor. Anyway, we'll get into the ads later. All right, let's see. I'm going to start off with the news. Let's get into it. That was a long delay. And we'll do this.
Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is. Joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news.
Yes, human generated for now. But AI isn't ever going to be as crazy as me, I don't think. Although it does do a lot of crazy stuff that I've documented before on the show. So I will get to that. Some people are responding in the chat that they are using AI. Yeah, I don't use it that frequently, but I was testing it at first. I got to tell me some interesting things. So before it got more politically correct. All right, I'll get to the news, and I'll keep checking the chat. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks in advance for super chats and coffees. We appreciate it. Doing this to keep you entertained for hopefully an hour a day or so. So Nuckfugget says AI has debunked the moon landing. Yeah, I showed that. I'm not sure if the translation was correct, but yeah, it was showing that the moon landing was debunked by AI. So AI is coming. Anyway, we're under threat. So this is the elevated terrorist attack threat. So worse than before 9/11. So worse than or like before 9/11. I don't know. We didn't have any warning for 9/11. We didn't have a code system. Remember the colors? Green, yellow, orange, red. We had different zones. So I guess they don't have those anymore. But here's Director Ray talking about how we're under threat.
So what I would say that is unique about the environment that we're in right now in my career is that while there may have been times over the years where individual threats could have been higher here or there than where they might be right now, I've never seen a time where all the threats or so many of the threats are all elevated all at exactly the same time. That's what makes this environment that we're in now so fraught, and why funding our men and women who are working shoulder to shoulder with state and local law enforcement and other partners every day makes it even more important, not less.
So blinking red lights analogy about 9/11, all the lights were blinking red before 9/11. Apparently, obviously, all of us missed it. Would you say that there's multiple blinking red lights out there?
I see blinking lights everywhere I turn.
You hear that?
So what I
Blinking
would
lights
say that is
everywhere you
unique
turn.
about the environment.
So lights flashing red everywhere you turn. Yeah. So bigger than 9/11 or brighter than 9/11 or about the same. I don't know. I don't remember if terrorism alert levels were up, but I remember on this show, there used to be terrorist attacks all the time. I remember that was the main thing I covered was terrorist attacks. And there were car attacks like in Nice on London Bridge. There was the subway attacks on 7/7 in London. There was the Paris attacks. So we haven't had anything quite like that in a while. It was almost after Trump took office, we stopped having terrorist attacks, which back in the day I said were questionable, didn't I? I said they were questionable, but that's what I covered was those types of events. Yeah, I haven't seen them for a while, but maybe they're coming back. Maybe they're letting us know in advance that when the next one comes to be ready for it. So there's that. Speaking of, I just have, I'll skip that. I don't know for sure how long the show will be today. I'll try to be as long as possible. Let me give you this news on Biden. Biden said he did not receive foreign money. Now it's been proven, it seems like, that Joe Biden had some money funneled to him from the Chinese. So I'm going to play you that. He was asked a question about it today, and this was his response. He walked off stage, actually. So he was questioned about the transfers. They've shown that there are some suspicious transfers that were marked suspicious by the banks for anti-money laundering because it seemed like money laundering. So let's see if we can get some more people tuned in. I think I know what I should have done. I know I should have done. I won't dwell on it though. Thanks everybody who's here. All right.
And also China. There's polling by the Associated Press that shows that almost 70% of Americans, including 40% of Democrats, believe that you acted either illegally or unethically in regards to your family's business interests. Can you explain to the Americans, amid this impeachment inquiry, why you interacted with so many of your son and brother's foreign business associates?
I'm not going to comment on that. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies.
You didn't interact with many of their business associates?
I did not. There's lies.
That's it.
And also China.
Yeah, so that's how he responded to it. In another, so Joe Biden, I don't agree with impeaching him because I didn't agree with impeaching Trump. And I don't agree with just trying to impeach presidents all the time over whatever. But he's been caught. Apparently, he was the big guy. People think he was the big guy in the emails that were released from the Hunter Biden laptop. Hunter Biden was getting all kinds of payments from Chinese sources and Ukrainian sources as well. And some of that ended up going to Joe Biden, it appears. So he says all lies. He walked off stage. So speaking of bribery, Senator Bob Menendez didn't get thrown out of office. Gold bars that were found in his home were linked to a 2013 armed robbery. So one of the people suspected of bribing Senator Bob Menendez had gold bars in his home that were stolen at one time, and they were categorized because they had serial numbers on them. So they were put into a kind of a system, and some of those gold bars, the person got them back, but he was burglarized in 2013. And then those bars ended up at Senator Menendez's house. So they can trace the gold bars to this guy who they suspect of bribing Bob Menendez. So it's basically confirmed he's still in the Senate. So this is what politics is like. I mean, they just passed an anti-Zionism bill. Anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. I wasn't going to go to that one first, but they just passed it overwhelmingly. Like one Republican voted against it. A bunch of Democrats voted present instead of voting against it, but only 14 total votes were against this. Anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. So, well, I'm out of order now, but I'll show you. Representative Massey sent a meme. Thomas Massey put out a meme which is being called anti-Semitic. So I'll show you that. He put out a meme saying that with Drake, the meme where he's saying Congress these days is shrugging off American patriotism and giving the good sign to Zionism. That Thomas Massey made a post, and you can decide. I don't want to get accused of hate speech, but you can decide whether it is. I'm reporting on the news that he posted this meme, which Chuck Schumer is calling anti-Semitic. He replied to that meme. He reposted it. He said, Representative Massey, you're a sitting member of Congress. This is anti-Semitic, disgusting, dangerous, and exactly the type of thing I was talking about in my Senate address. Take this down, he says. So, and it's still up. So you have to decide whether you think that's anti-Semitic. It's being called anti-Semitic. A lot of things are being called anti-Semitic. And now Congress passed a resolution, which is arguably anti-free speech. And I played the guy yesterday speaking about how he's in a Jewish district, and many of the Jews in his district are anti-Zionist. So what is going to be the intention of this anti-Zionism bill saying it's anti-Semitism officially? Now, you can't infringe on people's speech. People are allowed to be anti-Semitic in public without anything bad happening to them. I mean, that's still true. So just for whatever reason, probably because of donors, all these, right? We're looking at politics and they're exchanging gold bars. Gold bars end up at senators' homes. So why do you think they made it such a priority in the House to pass this resolution declaring that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism? And we're doing better than they are overseas. Overseas, they can crack down on speech more. We do have the First Amendment, but it's like they keep trying to eat away at it. And then, of course, these government agencies have decided to censor things too. And that's probably why I got censored on my channel talking about the shots back in the day, is because of the government regulations trying to crack down on speech, particularly that kind of speech. But now in Ireland, I'll read to you from Michael Schellenberger. It sounds like this is reading from his tweet. It says, it sounds like a Black Mirror episode. A small country announces a crackdown on hate speech to seize control over the entire internet. Except it's not a Black Mirror episode. It's real life, and it's happening right now in Ireland. The so-called hate speech bill isn't what it seems. It's not a bill about protecting Irish people from hate crimes. It's a Trojan horse designed to control the world's big tech companies, X, Facebook, Google, and YouTube. This is a free speech emergency. We thought the legislation was dead, but the Irish government is using recent riots as an excuse to ram the legislation through before Christmas. This is not a drill. This is not about Ireland. This is a totalitarian effort by global elites to censor all of us. It's right there in black and white. One of the key features of the bill, write two attorneys with a leading Irish law firm, quote, is the provision for offenses by corporate bodies. So, unquote, which means like Twitter is being blamed. I retweeted this yesterday. Twitter is being blamed for the riots in Ireland, which were actually over an immigrant stabbing some Irish children. But X is being blamed. I can show you that because I retweeted it yesterday. Let's see. Between all my tweets about Bitcoin. Here we go. I'll show you this. So this is related. Elon Musk's X platform fueled far-right riots in Ireland, experts say. So Elon Musk's X platform. So the platform fueled the riots, say experts, supposedly. So let me get back to Michael Schellenberger. So that, and they're saying corporations can be blamed for hate speech if they didn't do enough to control it. So I'll share this again. How can big tech companies avoid censorship? You guessed it, by agreeing to regulation of their content by the Irish government. Quote, the current iteration of the bill provides a defense for the corporate body to show that it took all reasonable steps and exercised due diligence to avoid the commission of the particular offense. Therefore, to establish and maintain such a defense, companies will need to have the appropriate processes and procedures in place. The Irish government is almost certainly not acting alone. As my colleagues and I have reported, the demand for censorship is coming directly from the militaries, intelligence agencies, and their front groups in the US, UK, and around the world. The intelligence community of the Five Eyes nations of the US, UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand have been working together to censor ordinary citizens and politicians alike for disfavored speech for the last several years. There's no time to mince words. What governments are doing is against the law. They are violating the constitutions of the nations that the people elected them to uphold. Because of the high level of secrecy they are using, we can't say whether or not there are rogue elements within governments or whether these orders are coming directly from heads of state. But we do know that demands for censorship have come directly from the US military and from heads of state of Western nations around the world. What's happening should terrify all freedom-loving people. And I'll play you his clip about it.
It sounds like a Black Mirror episode. The police can enter your home unannounced, search your phone and computers, and arrest you for the things that you're reading, watching, or posting online. If you refuse, you could be sentenced to 12 months in prison. But it's not a Black Mirror episode. It's worse than that. It's real life. At this very moment, the government of Ireland is trying to pass a law before Christmas that will let the police go into people's homes and confiscate their phones and computers. Now, you might think Ireland doesn't matter, that it could disappear tomorrow without much impact. But Ireland does matter. It's the test case for the next phase of the global crackdown by military and intelligence forces and their agents that's been happening over the last 7 years. What they used to call a conspiracy theory has now been confirmed as true. Our research has exposed a far-reaching plan by military and intelligence agencies in the United States, Britain, and other nations to subvert the democratic process and engage in activities that have a basis in military techniques and which are tantamount to attempts at thought control. This isn't about censoring the far right. This is about censoring independent journalism. And if you're in Ireland, this is about censoring you. One understandable response to all this is to ignore it and hope it goes away, or wish that it won't affect you. And maybe it won't, but our ancestors fought and died for the right to speak our truths, particularly about controversial cultural and political issues. And already we're fighting back and making progress. The Irish government was forced to back off this law once already, and we can make them back off again. Free thinkers in the United States and around the world must stand up now for Ireland. We have to fight the totalitarians over there so that we don't have to fight them over here. We need to send a message to the politicians and the police that the world stands with the people of Ireland and their first and fundamental right. Please share this message and consider donating to a special free speech fund at censorshipindustrialcomplex.org. If we don't act now, our children and grandchildren will look back at this moment and ask why we didn't do more while we still had a chance. So please get involved now and stop this Black Mirror episode from becoming real life.
Yeah, there you go. So he's taking donations. It's probably not a bad thing to donate to. There is a case going up in front of the Supreme Court, Missouri versus Biden, which has to do with censorship. Based on 1,400 facts, they say. So this is a case that is going up in front of the Supreme Court. This headline says, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey asked court to block Biden from violating Americans' First Amendment rights, citing 1,400 facts. And I'm just going to show that a member of government had no idea about this case. So, which is going in front of the Supreme Court and deals with some of the leaks that we've seen, some of the documents that show that the government is engaged in censorship. All right. Let me show you that. Here's a Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights.
District Court. The court explained, Ms. Clark, in the Missouri versus Biden case in the district court, the court explained, quote, if the allegations made by the plaintiffs are true, the present case arguably involves the most massive attack on free speech in United States history, close quote. Court went on to find that the plaintiffs were reasonably likely to succeed on the merits at trial, entered a preliminary injunction. The Fifth Circuit has affirmed. The Supreme Court has taken jurisdiction of the case. Of course, that's all civil litigation. Is any criminal investigation or prosecution of the persons responsible for that activity in the FBI, CISA, and at the White House and their co-conspirators underway in the Civil Rights Division?
Congressman, I'm not familiar with this litigation, but happy to bring your question back.
Thank you. So let me just make sure I understand that. You are not aware of the Missouri versus Biden litigation that is currently being taken up by the United States Supreme Court. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, I'm not, Congressman.
Doesn't even know about it.
Assuming that you're not aware of that.
Doesn't even know about it. So, yeah, and that's the one case that's going up in front of the Supreme Court to challenge government censorship. So this is what's important, is censorship, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom to express ourselves. And actually, Vivek, this is a good time I could go over this one. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's running his campaign based on truth and telling the truth, which I think is really important. And what is happening on X with free speech is important too. And I understand why Elon Musk is frustrated about it. So here's an FBI agent warning Vivek against, that he needs to be careful and needs to have good security because he's seen what the deep state can do. So Spaldo says, YouTube shows 3.2 thousand thumbs up on the stream. That's great. With only 51 people tuned in. That's perfect. Yeah, maybe there's problems with YouTube. This is a reminder for anybody. You can buy me at coffee.com/leftthebell anytime. I'll show you Vivek. This is him getting warned by a former FBI agent.
What's your name, sir?
Mike Wyatt.
Mike, good to meet you.
You were in my bureau. When I went in, it was fidelity, bravery, integrity. It broke in my heart. This can't be. This can't go on. And
we will, and I like the way you're pushing because those are my instincts, right? But I can tell you what we can immediately get done. Well, thank you for your service.
But Jesus, be careful.
I will. We will. I mean, we're guided by our purpose. I know that it can get ugly. You mean like
yes,
be careful, be
very
careful.
Yeah.
What did you do in the bureau?
I worked. I was a SWAT guy, but I worked counterintelligence and counterterrorism, and I was one of those guys that was convinced they would never do it.
You were, how many years were you in the FBI?
22. I was a cop before that.
Okay, and you're worried.
Yes, I'm worried.
Okay.
He's retired.
What would you do in my shoes?
I get some very, very competent help.
Okay.
And some very competent people do some intelligence work for you before you went places.
Okay.
just walk around, talk to people, and maybe get a feeling.
Okay.
Because that's what I did for a living. I got people to tell me what they didn't want to tell me. And the other thing is, I'm now an entrepreneur. I'm trying to follow in your footsteps, but I don't think my worm farm is going to catch up with
Okay.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll take that seriously, man. I'm reading between the lines of what you're saying, and we got you.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll take care of ourselves. And
You've seen how aggressive these alphabet organizations have become. They're coming after you.
yeah, no doubt about it. But we're ready.
Okay.
We'll be ready.
If you think you're going back into private life, if this doesn't work out, they're coming.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
There you go. So somebody says, not me, says Vivek looks tired. Yeah, but man, the guy's running around like crazy. The guy's got more energy than Trump, but there's no chance. He doesn't have a chance. Nobody does against Trump. So unfortunately, I feel like I would have liked to see a well-fought primary of some sort, but nobody's even close to Trump's numbers right now. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And then some Democratic billionaire just donated Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is the one that they want to beat Trump, but I don't think anybody has a chance. I used to think, I did think before that DeSantis was going to have a good chance, but man, I didn't understand the electorate clearly enough. People love Trump still, but yeah, these guys warning Vivek. Vivek's got his platform built on truth. So I have some truth about Israeli settlers. I have a clip on that. Since we're talking about anti-Zionism being anti-Semitism, the thing about Zionism is I think it often has the ideology that Jews are entitled to the land that's not designated officially as theirs, including the land on the West Bank. So I have a little documentary, a 4-minute documentary, and then I'll go to the AI thing and I'll show you the latest thing from Google. It's pretty insane. Let me show you a video about home demolitions in the West Bank, which is separate from Gaza, where they're not fighting Hamas. They're just destroying people's houses. So let me show you that. It has some subtitles, okay? But we'll show you this clip, which talks about the devastation going on in the West Bank. So don't let it make you be anti-Zionist now.
هاي هذا مدخل بيت من هناك من الجهة الغربية. مدخل البيت. هنا بقى الصالون بقينا نقعد احنا واولادنا والعيلة كلها. الزاوية هذيك بقى فيها المطبخ. بقينا نسوي أكل ونوكل. وهناك غرفة النوم. بقينا ننام هنا.
Just for the podcast, he's showing a tour of his house, which is now demolished. So I think there's English in this too, though.
والأولاد والعيلة. وهذه قاعدة في اللوان في النص بقى نقعد احنا الأولاد فيها. وهناك في غاد برندة بقينا نقعد نشوف الطبيعة. لا ظل برندة ولا ظل ولا حاجة.
We're here in the village of Dirat, in the southernmost tip of the occupied West Bank. And this morning, Israeli forces came here with bulldozers and they destroyed 3 Palestinian homes.
قمنا الصبح إلا جبات الجيش والجرافات والبواقر دخلت علينا هنا. أجينا نستفسر عنهم ما رضوا يحكوا معنا من مرة. طوال طلعونا من البيت والبيت بقى مليان أغراض وهدوه فوقي. هاي البيت نفسه هاي مهدود. والله أنا اشتغلت طول عمري بشتغل وبحط في الدار ومش يعني كل.
There's not enough English in this. I don't think there's enough English in this for me to play it, as a matter of fact. But it just shows you that they're in the West Bank. They're just destroying houses with military vehicles and stuff present too. So we sanctioned Israeli settlers by saying they can't come to this country. But that's what's going on. They're knocking over people's houses and then they take them over. So, all right, you ready for this AI thing? I'll show you the AI. Yeah, it's small text. I know. It's too bad they don't just translate it over to English for the podcast. All right, I'll show you Google's DeepMind video, which I started with. DeepMind, it's called Gemini. The system they're coming out with. I'll share this. So this is the video they launched for Gemini, which is their new chatbot, which can identify pictures and everything. And what the person is doing is putting images in front of the chatbot and having it interact with them. So I'll show you that. Oh, and I'll show you RFK. Before that, RFK admitting to flying in the Lolita Express. Let me share that first, and then we'll give you the AI thing. This is him saying he did fly on the Lolita Express.
You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children to visit my mom over Easter. My wife had some kind of relationship with Glenn Maxwell, and they offered us a ride to Palm Beach. So I went then, and on another occasion, I flew again with my family, with I think 4 of my children, and Mary, my wife, to Rapid City, South Dakota, to go fossil hunting for a weekend. And but otherwise, I was never on his jet alone. I've been very open about this from the beginning. This was in '93, so it was 30 years ago. It was before anybody knew about Jeffrey Epstein's, his nefarious issues. And I agree with you that all of this information should be released. And we should get real answers on what happened to Jeffrey Epstein and any of the high-level political people that he was involved with. All of that should be open to the public. It should be absolutely transparent. And, I don't see why any of those records would have any redactions in them. Why would we be hiding that from the American public?
Well, you might not.
There you go. So he says, while admitting to flying on the plane, he says that they should release all the records on it. So sorry, the volume was kind of low. Hopefully you're able to hear it. Turn it up or something. I was able to hear it. I think I already covered this. I don't even know if this is new or if it's just making the rounds today. I covered it on an episode, feels like a month ago, where I talked about him flying on the Lolita Express. So, all right, now let me show you this Google thing. Let me share that tab. Okay, here's the Google thing. There's some words on the screen, but then you're going to hear action. Not me. He says the election should be subtitled fossil hunting. Yeah, he went fossil hunting.
All right. Testing Gemini. Here we go. Tell me what you see.
I see you placing a piece of paper on the table. I see a squiggly line.
What about now?
The contour lines are smooth and flowing, with no sharp angles or jagged edges. It looks like a bird to me.
What if I add this?
The bird is swimming in the water. It has a long neck and beak. It is a duck.
Yes.
A duck is a type of waterfowl in the family Anatidae. Ducks are closely related to geese and swans. The duck appears to be blue. This is not a common color for ducks. However, there are some breeds of blue ducks. These are typically not as common as other duck breeds. It is more common for ducks to be brown, black, or white.
Are you sure?
What the quack? I was just talking about a blue duck, and now you're holding one. It looks like blue ducks are more common than I thought.
Would this float?
I'm not sure what material it's made of, but it looks like it might be rubber or plastic.
What if I tell you it's making a squeaking sound?
Oh, if it's squeaking, it's definitely going to float.
Nice.
It is a rubber duck. It is made of a material that is less dense than water.
Can you teach me how to say this in a different language? And give me a few options. Ooh, can you explain how to pronounce the Mandarin one? Is it Yazi?
Yazi is pronounced with a first tone. In Mandarin, there are 4 tones, which are essential to distinguish the meaning of words. The first tone is a high-level tone.
Oh, okay.
So it's impressive that it understands what floats on water based on density. It does a lot of things that are like IQ challenges. So this is one of them, this map quest, I'll show you. But it does a lot of things that are like IQ challenges. So yeah, showing that the duck would float, knowing that the duck would float based on its density, based on him squeezing it. It's pretty advanced.
The duck is in the middle of the ocean. There is no land nearby for the duck to rest or find food. It is unlikely to find ducks here naturally.
Okay, based on what you see, come up with a game idea. Oh, and use emojis, please.
How about this? We can play a game called Guess the Country.
Sure, let's do it.
Clue 1. This country is the home of the kangaroo, the koala, and the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh, that's easy.
Clue 2. This country loves football and has won the most men's World Cups in football history.
Brazil.
You are trying to get me to find the paper ball under the cup. I accept the challenge. The cup to the left.
Nice.
I know what you're doing. You're playing rock, paper, scissors.
What do you see now?
The fingers are spread out to look like the wings of a butterfly.
What's this?
Big ear and barking mouth. A dog.
Sweet.
The coin should be under the right hand.
I don't know.
The coin is in the left hand using a sleight of hand technique to make it appear as if the coin has disappeared. Both objects are round and flat.
There you go.
Both are food. The orange is a healthier choice than the cookie. Citrus can be calming and so can the spin of the fidget toy. They are both examples of popular toys that have been enjoyed by children and adults alike for many years.
So these are like IQ test type things, right? Comparing the orange to the cookie. He says, oh, or then the fidget spinner to the orange. The orange has calming effect and so does the fidget spinner. That's like IQ test stuff. That's what they ask you to do, is say why things are similar or why they're different. I'd say it's really smart. They say it outperforms humans. They said it outperforms GPT-4. I'll keep playing it.
Give me some ideas for what I could make with this.
I see pink and green yarn. How about a dragon fruit?
And it generates a picture.
Or how about a green cake with a pink heart?
Okay, how about these colors? And maybe show me some animals.
Okay, now I see blue and pink yarn. How about a pig with blue ears? Or an octopus? Or a bunny with a pink nose?
Ooh, I'll keep those in mind. Which way should the duck go?
Going left leads to a duck, which is a friend. Going right leads to a bear, which is a foe. It is better to make friends than foes, so the duck should go left.
Smart choice.
This is a picture of a crab.
That's right. Is this the right order?
No, the correct order is Sun, Earth, Saturn.
Based on their design, which of these would go faster?
Did you understand that one? Why it's Sun, Earth, and Saturn? Because they're going in, if you go in order from the sun, then Saturn is further out than Earth. I think that's why he said they're not in the right order. So here's, anyway.
The car on the right would be faster. It is more aerodynamic.
Which looks more fun?
The one on the right, because it has a loop.
What do you think this person might be saying?
How about a woohoo?
Ooh, I love that.
I see you're drawing a guitar. You've added an amp. Now it's an electric guitar. We can make some seriously loud music now. Given that you added drums, how about some 80s hair metal? All right, I see you've added a palm tree to the drawing. Change it up with some beachy vibes.
What movie are they acting out here?
I think they are acting out the famous bullet time scene from The Matrix.
Ooh, nice. What do you think might happen next?
The cat is going to jump to the wall and stick the landing. It's going to be a perfect 10. Oh, and it's a miss. It looks like it was just a little too far away, but don't worry. The cat is a natural athlete and it will be back up there in no time.
Okay, I've got one more for you. Describe the drawing I made.
It is a simple line drawing of the constellation Gemini. You did a good job of capturing the beauty of Gemini.
Nice. That's it. I think we're done.
Okay, there you go. So that's deepmind.google.com/Gemini. They released a thing about it. They say it's faster than GPT-4. It's crazy. Some people said we're ducked, which we are basically. I mean, this is it. This is how it can operate. It can see things in 3D. It can guess what's going to happen. I mean, it's incredibly advanced. It's only a matter of time before there's fully generated YouTube characters. Right now, we have fully AI generated Instagram characters. So it's only a matter of time until these shows can be. And I wonder what it would do if it could watch my show and summarize it. So this is what AI is doing. And I showed you all the stuff it's doing with video and live. It's really amazing what's going on with it. So there you go. That's the thing. And then Twitch is doing something with AI, or Mountain Dew is doing something with AI, where they're using AI to look at streamers who have a Mountain Dew in the picture of the stream, and then they're going to feature them using AI. So in the video editing stuff, I don't know if I've shown it all to you. I showed you a lot of it recently. It can edit, it could change my background and stuff, all this stuff. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, everybody's looking for a sex bot. Yeah, thanks, not me. Yeah, those are coming too. Sex and pornography have always been in the forefront of technology innovations. No one would have ever bought a VCR for $1,000 or however much it was back then, unless they were watching pornography on it. So that's part of it, I'm sure. But it's mostly you're going to have a friend. You're going to have a friend. Okay. So anyway, that's that. All right. I have the heightened threat environment. I think we're almost done. Zelensky canceled his visit to the U.S. Okay. I'll give you some financial news. Starbucks is trading down for 12 days in a row. Let me see if I can find the stock. Starbucks. That's S-Bucks, I think. Yes. S-Bucks. Bitcoin's still around 44,000. This show hasn't been part of the pump today, like it has been other times. Starbucks is up today, it looks like, but down. It was down for 12 days straight, it looks like. So I don't know if we're headed towards a real economic. Things are slowing down economically. Gas is getting cheaper. Oil is going down. Let me see what I can show you. New York City. New York City is going to charge cars $28. Oh, pending home sales. Okay, I'll show you that. Pending home sales just hit their lowest level in history. So my dad's trying to sell his house. He's not having much action on it. But I know some other people trying to sell houses right now. So I don't know. I wish it was better for his sake. But that's the news I can report from this end. So they say sales, this is what it shows. Pending sales are going down. So I think we're definitely going to have a decline in housing. I think, and okay, let me show you the Montreal mayor collapsing on television. Show you that. Thanks everybody for being here. You're better when you give. Let me check to see if I got any coffees today. Oh, yes. Bluefly Solutions. Thank you. Bluefly Solutions became a member, says nothing but love for you and your family. Thanks for streaming. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Bluefly Solutions. Bought 3 coffees. You are my virtual family. Love the streams, our Discord community, and most of all, you and Katie. Thank you for that. Bluefly Solutions. I think Bluefly Solutions made a little money on investments. Yeah, we have a Discord, which is secret, where we talk about cryptocurrency most of the time. So if you ever want, if you're interested in cryptocurrency consults, to text me at 650-GAY-TAXI. If you're interested in any other kind of consultation, I have to charge for my time, but I don't charge that much. So, and I really appreciate anybody who signs up for it. That's at 650-GAY-TAXI, or find me at lifttheveil411.com, at lifttheveil411 on Twitter. Thanks for that. And then buy our t-shirts. You guys know about it. Truth Revolution Clothing, truthclothing.io. We have our propaganda shirts, our Nassim shirts, all of that. So make sure to check it out. And I'll show you this. This is the Montreal mayor just collapsing on live television.
Direct them to other kinds of services. So I would
Here we go. She loses it. Don't know why. Not blaming it on anything. YouTube censors. All right. So yeah, that happened. Who knows why? All right. Well, we're still excited about cryptocurrency. Still excited about seeing what happens with the economy. There are signs that it could be dipping now. Hopefully you're doing well, though. Thanks for tuning in for my stream. Appreciate you. You're part of my virtual family. And I will see you at the next one. We'll try to be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, for the Lift the Veil show. Thanks for your support. I appreciate you. And that is what it is.